I've been spending a lot of time recently just reading manga for enjoyment and to make videos on, and one that I began and just recently caught up with is Chainsaw Man by Tatsuki Fujimoto. When I heard the concept for this manga, it didn't strike me as anything I hadn't heard before, but I heard it was a fun read, so I started it. And it is. It is a fun read. We follow a 16-year-old boy named Denji who works as a devil hunter in order to pay off his father's debt to the Yakuza. He has sold multiple organs to deal with some of the debt and goes after what the Yakuza tells him to with the help of his little chainsaw devil dog, Pochita. Denji is pretty lonely and depressed at the beginning of the story and wishes for a better life where someone would take care of him. Where the beginning of our story starts to break stasis is when the Yakuza tells Denji to go into a building in order to deal with another devil. Instead, we find out that the Yakuza sets him up to be killed by a zombie devil. In return, that devil gives the Yakuza some of its power. Unfortunately, Pochita and Denji are not able to deal with the devil and are thrown into a dumpster where they are both quickly dying. Pochita merges with Denji's heart, causing him to become... can you guess? Chainsaw Man! Woo! While not delving too much into spoiler territory, Chainsaw Man is surprisingly deep and profound at times. Of course, there is a lot of dark humor, and Denji going on murderous rampages is quite the common occurrence, but there are some pretty evident themes thrown in here and there. I see you, Fujimoto. I see you. For example, Denji starts working for the Japanese Devil Hunter organization and is assigned to a special division that includes fiends like him who are half human, half devil, or just nicer devils, so on and so forth. It is a very experimental group made up of very dangerous but effective hunters. A member of this division who is human, Aki Hayakawa, is obsessed with finding the gun devil and killing it. The gun devil has killed millions of people, some of those including Aki's family, and he is hell-bent on revenge. He has a passionate hatred for devils and hates working with them, but puts up with it in order to get better results. The gun devil is seen as the main source of evil, and it's no coincidence that any gun user in the series is associated with an antagonistic force. Fujimoto definitely tries to get across how bad and evil he thinks guns are, as it is the #1 cause in Chainsaw Man's world for death. Fueled through the wonderfully comedic, yet touching interpersonal relationships, the characterization and character progression of the main cast thrives. Denji is technically the protagonist, and we spend a good amount of time with him, but personally I consider Aki to be this world's true protagonist. We see so much more of his inner struggle and conscience being displayed than we do Denji's. Sure, Denji is a lot of fun to let off the leash, but Aki has such raw human emotion that it hits harder than anyone else. The way Aki starts to befriend and care deeply for a squadron of devils, to the point that he would sooner give up on the gun devil that killed his previous family, so as to not lose his new one, is a testament to how profoundly good and human he is. Aki finds a place for himself, a space in which he can enjoy being alive instead of simply existing for the single purpose of destruction. Fujimoto does a fantastic job in portraying some of the devils and fiends to exhibit more human compassion than, well, living humans. Some of the things that these human characters do to each other are horrendous, a reflection of our own world, done to show that humanity doesn't need a physical manifestation of evil or the devil in order to do evil things to one another. Some of the most relatable and heartbreaking events happen when a devil puts itself before a human. So, yes, there is a lot of violent, turn off your brain fun if you don't care to pay attention, but if you do, there's a well-realized depiction of how human beings have the incredible potential for both good and evil, and how fragile that balance may be swayed in one direction. Now, I do feel like I must warn people that Chainsaw Man does deal with a lot of heavy topics. It's not for everyone. It has some definite Gantz vibes for those who have read Gantz, and that is partial to the fact of the extreme violence and topics discussed. Yes, this manga is in Shonen Jump, and that is misleading, but it is basically a seinen by most people's standards, including mine. If you are going into this expecting a shonen tale for all ages, then you will be surprised, to say the least. If you are sensitive to extreme violence and some extreme sexual content, then I do not recommend that you read this. However, if you're not bothered by any of that and you wish to continue, then please feel free to check out Chainsaw Man. I highly recommend it for a sleeper hit of a good time. I will be reading it week by week to keep up with the story. Look out for future Chainsaw Man videos covering chapter reviews and analyses, and make sure you subscribe as well as drop a like. My name is Max, and I'll see you on the next one.
How much longer till this road just falls through the earth? These same lines on a map are losing all their worth. Ruts in the pavement, only I can see. Is my life really just point A and point B? And I know I probably complain too much, but the same routine is killing me inside. How much longer till this road just falls through the earth, and I'll be buried alive under Floridian dirt?